How many TikTok influencers does it take to run a restaurant? In the case of Mimmo in Dumont, New Jersey, we don't know because it hasn't happened. When mother of 5 Melissa retired from the police force after 26 years of service, she opened the restaurant with her eldest son Antonio and his social media star brothers, Vincent and Vito. Melissa had no previous experience running a restaurant, but is assisted by Sicilian head chef Francesca. 22-year-old Antonio has quickly become a master pizza maker, as well as a restaurant manager, chief buyer, and Melissa's emotional support.
I don't want you to stress.
It's all right.
No,
I got it.
it's not.
I know.
His brothers, Vincent and Vito, found it hard to commit to working in the restaurant. Instead, they feel they are better suited to being social media influencers.
We're in there like swimwear. The rest of my day, you just watch movies, relax. And that's why I have no time to come here.
Melissa's police detective husband works double shifts to support the restaurant, which has run up $500,000 of debt in just 6 months. The couple are hoping that Gordon could help them claw back their losses. Melissa asks to speak to Chef Ramsay before he meets the rest of the team, and she climbs into his parked car for a chat. She explains how Antonio has taken on the burden of the restaurant, while his 2 younger brothers fail to help, and instead cause chaos every time they visit. Melissa has asked her influencer sons to take over Mimmo's social media, but so far, they haven't helped. She's been paying payroll from her own pocket for the past few weeks and doesn't know how to fix the problem. Gordon reassures her he's here to help, but admits it might be a bumpy ride. Ramsay heads into the restaurant, and Melissa guides him to a table.
For that monstrosity.
The boys wanted to make it a little bit more social media friendly.
Someone puked on the wall.
He looks at the menu and calls over the waiter, Giuseppe, who dances around the room to take his order. Francesca gets to work making a fresh minestrone soup, which takes a while. After 30 minutes, Ramsay asks Giuseppe what's taking so long. He doesn't know and blows Gordon a kiss as he races away. Once the soup is finally ready, Antonio delivers it to Gordon, and he likes it, calling it actually quite nice. Gordon moves on to the pizza. That's less impressive, as the inside is soggy and the mozzarella isn't fresh. Next up is the calamari, which is bland and flavorless. It's like eating rubber bands, and Giuseppe confirms it is frozen. When he gets a house specialty, bread ball and meatballs, his first impression isn't great.
$22 for that. It's like an implant gone wrong. Wowza.
The meatballs are ice cold in the middle, and the bread is burned. Francesca is embarrassed. She wishes she had fresh ingredients to cook with. Ramsay gathers the whole team and tells them the restaurant is a nightmare. Francesca shares that she doesn't like the food she serves, except for the fresh soup. Melissa admits they have bad credit from bouncing checks, so she can't afford fresh ingredients. But Gordon tells them the frozen food is killing what's left of the business. When he discovers that Antonio is buying the ingredients as well as making the pizzas and managing the restaurant, Chef Ramsay feels there's too much pressure on the 22-year-old. Gordon can't understand how Melissa has allowed the business to get into such a mess. She's overwhelmed and more stressed as a restaurant owner than she ever was as a cop. Plus, she's disappointed at the lack of support she gets from her younger sons. Despite having over 2 million followers, Vincent very rarely posts about Mimmo to help boost the business. Gordon speaks privately to Melissa as he is worried about Antonio working 6 days a week under so much pressure. She's desperate for help and is ready to try whatever he suggests. Chef Ramsay wants to watch the team in action and has filled the dining room with locals. And he's asked Melissa to call Vincent and Vito in so he can meet them. Diners wait patiently for their food to arrive, but in the kitchen, it's chaos. Smoke fills the room, and Francesca scrambles to track down missing dishes. Gordon heads out front to get some fresh air. When Vincent and Vito finally arrive, they sit down at the bar and order pizza and coffee. Ramsay is furious.
What table was that?
It's special for them.
Put that down, that's way more important.
What are we doing, dude?
He asks the brothers why the restaurant only has 800 followers online, when between them they have almost 3.5 million. Gordon points out that if just 5% of their followers visited Mimmo, it would be fully booked for 6 months, and their brother and mother could relax. When he sees that Vincent is wearing a $35,000 watch, Ramsay tells the pair that their parents are $500,000 in debt to wipe the smiles off their faces. Instead of raising his voice, he leans in close and lowers it.
But I'm definitely going to help when you two snowflakes are taking the melting like on this bar.
He tells them to help out or get out. The brothers laugh off the interaction and finish their free coffees. Back in the kitchen, Gordon checks out the refrigerators. He's told they are cleaned every day, but a container of dead mussels suggests that's not true. And when he finds a box of rotten fruit, he calls Melissa and Antonio to get some answers. There are rotten chicken breasts and disintegrating vegetables that smell terrible. Ramsay is shocked and worried they may have been used for today's service. He shuts the kitchen down and asks Antonio to send diners home. Gordon sits with the family in the dining room, and once again has to tell Vincent and Vito to stop smirking. A tearful Melissa assures Chef Ramsay that she had no idea the kitchen was in such a state. Vincent is still smiling, leading Gordon to tell the owner that she needs to stop pandering to her ungrateful sons. Antonio is desperate to learn the business, and Ramsay has arranged for a culinary team to help. He promises to train Antonio to get him up to speed. Asking Melissa to leave, Gordon tells the boys how he really feels.
I am you know that.
He makes it crystal clear that the boys need to step up if they love their mother, which they all say they do. Vincent and Vito promise to change their attitude and give their brother the support he desperately needs. The next day, Gordon takes Antonio and his assistant pizza maker to meet an expert who will teach them all the tricks of the trade. They begin the masterclass by discussing the importance of using the finest ingredients before putting the dough in the oven. Antonio is confident he can elevate the pizzas he's producing back at Mimmo. In the restaurant, Gordon's team has been hard at work renovating the dining room and rewriting the menu. The whole family arrives to see the results, and a delighted Melissa gives Gordon a warm hug, closely followed by her husband. The graffiti wall has gone and is replaced by contemporary gray paintwork, finished with a collage of wooden chopping boards. The bar area and furniture have been updated with warm wooden surfaces, giving the dining room a more welcoming feel. The new menu features fresh, colorful dishes. There are fewer to choose from, but they are made from higher quality ingredients, and the team can taste the difference. To spread the word, Chef Ramsay asked Vincent and Vito to get creative with a social media post to share with their followers, which they are happy to do.
Re-grand opening coming soon. Dumont, New Jersey. We're here.
All right, posted.
Oh yeah, we just posted it.
The staff gets ready for relaunch night, and Gordon encourages head chef Francesca to speak up and make sure her voice is heard. Customers begin to arrive, including a few invited back by Gordon after a previous bad experience. Food starts leaving the kitchen quickly, and the coordination between Francesca and Antonio works perfectly, ensuring pizzas are ready at the same time as the other entrees. The diners are happy, and so is Gordon. He tells Antonio that the whole feel of the restaurant has changed. But suddenly, dishes start to back up in the kitchen, as waiter Giuseppe is taking too long to collect them, and Francesca fails to step in to get things moving. After a firm word from owner Melissa, the backlog is cleared and they are back on track. And finally, even Vito and Vincent arrive to help out. It's time for Gordon to leave, and after a fist bump with Francesca, he says goodbye to Melissa and Antonio, telling them they are ready for the future. He's hopeful that the fresh food and a little online support from the brothers will keep the dining room full. 2 months later, the restaurant is doing well. Antonio has gained confidence both as a chef and as a manager, and his brothers are helping to attract new diners through the door. Gordon filmed at Mimmo in June 2023, around 6 months after the restaurant first opened. Reviews immediately following his visit were excellent, with many diners rating the food and service 5 out of 5. And Melissa and Antonio were still present every day, working hard to keep their customers happy and the dream alive. There was a bump in visitor numbers very quickly, as news of their appearance on Kitchen Nightmares broke before it was officially announced. While the family couldn't talk about their experience at that time, the leaked story generated interest and increased footfall at Mimmo. Gordon hoped that a social media push by Vito and Vincent would also get customers queuing around the block to sample the new menu. But that didn't happen. Melissa and her sons were interviewed before the episode aired, and she admitted that they hadn't stepped up to help, though they were very keen to get hold of clips from the episode for promotional purposes, to be released on their personal TikTok accounts. The boys had good reasons for not helping their mom out, though. The commute to the restaurant was 45 minutes, which was just too far for them. Vito had a great solution to this problem. He thought Antonio should take over responsibility for the restaurant's social media. Understandably, Antonio wasn't keen to add to his list of jobs, though he did seem to try to improve Mimmo's online presence by posting more videos. It seems the distance from the family home may have been an issue for Antonio too, as he told a reporter he would like to open a restaurant in a different area. Around this time, 4 months after filming and 2 weeks before the episode aired, the restaurant was listed for sale online. It was priced at $399,000 and described as a completely renovated space with seating for 92 diners. The listing was live for 9 days before being pulled down and described as a mistake, though it's clearly not an old listing as Gordon's changes are shown. With Mimmo off the market, the family prepared for the episode to be aired on the 16th of October 2023 and celebrated with a viewing party. They charged $50 a head and hosted 120 guests who played games such as Guess Who Gordon Yells At First to win Mimmo merchandise. The episode didn't achieve brilliant ratings, with a score of just 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, though viewers had a lot of opinions about the stars of the show. Giuseppe was immediately voted one of the best ever waiters in the series, thanks to his odd dance moves and iconic panicked kiss to Gordon. Melissa was criticized for opening a restaurant with no experience, but technically, this wasn't her first time. In November 2021, Melissa took over a 4-year-old Italian restaurant called Il Molino in Dumont, New Jersey. And if the location looks familiar, it's because it was in the exact same building that Mimmo took over 12 months later. The dining room had a more formal vibe, and there was no pizza oven. Melissa renovated and reopened a more relaxed eatery with her sons. The restaurant was advertised as being run by the 3 brothers, all of whom were popular social media influencers at the time. But before long, one of them was taking the strain in the kitchen and learning the business, while the others walked away. Viewers were impressed by Antonio's incredible work ethic, humble nature, and unwavering support and love for his mother. That's even more impressive because he never planned to become the pizza guy. When the Italian pizza expert they hired walked out, Antonio stepped right in. Several viewers hoped that Gordon would pay for his culinary training, or offer him a role in his own restaurant. Sadly, neither of those happened. Antonio didn't let that hold him back, though. He was soon front-page news in the local newspaper, and won an award for his perfect pies. As for Vincent and Vito, it's safe to say they didn't come across well during the episode, and viewers wish that Gordon had been tougher on them. In fact, they were voted most punchable faces this season by Redditors. It turns out that Vincent is actually used to being punched in the face, in the boxing ring. He took part in his first, and only, boxing match in December 2021. Vincent lost, but vowed to fight again because he felt that he should have won. His next fight hasn't been scheduled, yet. Despite Gordon taking Antonio to meet a pizza expert, the young chef didn't change his pizza recipe after the masterclass. And in an online advert for the restaurant, he thanked his father and YouTube for teaching him his skills, with no mention of Gordon. But in the other ways, the family embraced their brush with Chef Ramsay, wearing "We Survived Kitchen Nightmares" t-shirts, and allowing customers to pose with a cardboard cutout of their celebrity mentor, a great way to get them to share their visit on social media. Melissa also arranged a wide variety of events to draw in customers and their cash, from live music to limoncello making. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. In September 2024, just 15 months after Gordon's visit, the Mimmo closed its doors for good. It was a sad loss to the neighborhood, as the reviews were excellent in the last few months, giving it a final Google rating of 4.7 out of 5. The family held a Ciao for Now event and posted a message explaining that they had enjoyed launching and growing the business, including Gordon's visit. The goodbye message hinted at other opportunities and new ventures that Antonio was looking into. To date, he hasn't shared his next moves on his social media, but we hope he is planning to continue his journey as a chef. We don't have an update for Melissa either, though she is no doubt busy looking after the 2 youngest of her 5 boys and enjoying her retirement from the force. Vito and his influencer girlfriend have now reached 2.1 million followers and continue to prank each other to attract more views.
Hi, babe.
What's up? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, bro?
What do you mean?
But why? Why?
Around the time the restaurant closed, Vincent and his girlfriend Sam broke up after a 3-year relationship. As they had both become famous online during this time, they obviously took to TikTok to share the news with his 2.7 million followers.
As of last week, Vincent and I have decided to break up. I don't even know what I
Well, no, it was a mutual agreement.
I had this all thrown out in my head. And
Vincent switched his attention to his new YouTube channel, where he shared footage of the family's last day at the restaurant. Noting that it's the end of an era, it's one of the very few times the business gets a mention from Vincent on any of his accounts. Sadly, we were unable to track down Giuseppe, but we're sure he's still serving diners with a smile somewhere in New Jersey. We're sorry that Gordon couldn't save the Mimmo, but are excited to see what the entire family gets up to next.